Hello, ladies and gentlemen and lovebirds. We are Nerds After Bedtime. As always, I'm Shak.
Isabella.
Josh.
And we're here with the one and only Jesus Christ Superstar.
Hey, it's a pleasure to be back. Missed you guys. Can't wait.
All our prayers are with you.
Thank you.
So today we're going through a different form of love extravaganza because everyone's always talking about romantic love on Valentine's Day. We thought we'll bring it more back to family, self-love and friendship. So of course with that we thought, what else could we talk about besides D&D to begin with?
And death.
Yes, a lot of it. But actually no, I'm not gonna lie, there was not a lot of death in this battle royale. So the last 2 weeks we've had a battle royale with Dungeons and Dragons where the aim of the game was you build a character to kill the other characters. This all went sadly awry when we realised 3 out of 5 of the characters didn't want to fight. And so we came in with 4 people. One was the champion from the last 2 years.
Bob LePonge.
Yes, he was SpongeBob.
But French.
French SpongeBob with a French accent. It was amazing.
Oui, oui.
A pacifist who didn't want to fight, who didn't know how she got there, a girl who signed up to make friends and didn't realise what she signed, and myself, who was just a
Star of David.
Yeah, a religious pop icon in the making who just wanted to get his name up in lights any way he could.
And that links to our actual campaign with Reece.
Yeah.
Non-canonically, but there are links and ties, and it was definitely a one-shot.
The cult is real.
Yeah.
He admitted it. You heard it here first. So the weirdest moments for me in this battle royale were all the non-fighting moments. So I'm going to skip right to the end and just spoil it for everyone because my favourite moment was the death of one of the characters by Jay, who was a tree lover. And when I say tree lover, I mean he married a tree in the game and he kissed a tree and he did a lot of things with this tree and every tree he found. And he was a Paladin Barbarian, a short version of the reigning champion. So because he was half his size, he called him Papa the whole game, and it was becoming more and more heartbreaking as the game went on, as you realise they are going to get to the point where they're the last two standing and he is going to have to either kill his Papa or his Papa's going to have to kill him. And after they'd taken down me, unfortunately they killed David. Yes, I'm still bitter about it. And then they killed the Flying Eagle. Yes, there was also a girl who for the entire game of 3 or 4 hours was just a Flying Eagle, and they killed her. They got to a point when they said to Alex, who was DMing the game, we don't want to fight anymore. We've formed a connection, we don't want to do this, we're throwing down our arms, we're not fighting, the contract is off. And she said, if you're going to do this, then the game is going to go against you, and I hope you know that. And they're like, throw it at us. We're going to have our picnic, that's all we've ever wanted. I'll fill you in that later. We're going to have a long rest, we're going to use all our 5-day rations, and we're just going to leave. And she was like, right, okay, cool. So she started attacking them with all the trees she had, to a point they said, look, it's either we both die or one of us dies. And sadly, young Jay told the Papa to execute him so his Papa could live. And as he was stroking him gently, hand on his head, he was telling his poor, sweet, not actual son, even in the game, that everything was okay, nothing to worry about, as he just did away with his neck and he was done. Then he won and was the reigning champion again for 2 years in a row. And we were all practically traumatised, apart from the Papa who was smiling. He didn't really care for his son, not gonna lie. I mean, the entire time that Jay was fighting a character and said, Papa, can you help? He was like, no, you've got it, son, you've got it. He was waiting the entire time for his health to go down so he could do the last killing blow on the slightly deranged young boy who called him Papa.
It just sounds like the ending of Mice and Men.
It pretty much was. It's just a bit more brutal, really.
My goodness.
Think of me. Just think of me in the farm instead of the rabbits.
He didn't even say that, he just said shush, really.
Yeah.
He just said shush and just cut on the neck.
Ah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was, and going back to like the picnic thing, that was something from when we first started the 4-hour game. I think it's 4 or 5 hours. And this girl was like, she was the one who can't fight. She got into a battle arena having no spells or ability to fight anyone.
To be fair, I think she won by default. The
last one before.
The ceiling crushed everyone else, and she was the last one alive.
She still signed up to do that. She still signed up and brought a character that does no damage.
This is about love and like there's the idea of if this is about love and like a show about like Valentine's Day love and stuff like the idea
traumatic
of like,
love, okay?
It's okay to love until you end up murdering one of your son.
Well, it's the love of death.
Oh, it's kind of going back to the story of Isaac sacrificing for God.
Oh yeah, oh god, Isaac, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Alex technically was a god in as a DM.
Yeah.
Sacrificed to the DM.
Okay, moving on swiftly from that, we can talk about other stories.
Happy stories. Actual happy endings, which are also false.
I mean, for Josh later on, one of them is not going to be very happy. So, Josh, take it away with your
Fake
Disney
happy
movie.
ending.
The movie I'll start with is Snow White. They're themed.
Boo.
Why boo?
It's a classic. Hush now. Speak.
Boo. So the themes for this I found were like true love from the prince. I mean, the idea of true love being love at first sight, which I still find weird that you see someone in a glass coffin and it's automatically I love you.
Did you know in the Disney film she's also supposed to be 14?
That's not
an
good. That is
improvement to
not
the actual story, though.
That,
That's a 7-year improvement.
Yes, it is.
oh, jeez.
Then it was a friendship from the dwarves after Snow White did a beating into her house.
Yep.
And then-
Broke in, started cleaning their stuff. How weird.
I don't think it was broken and went, this place is messy, let's clean it.
She did. She cleaned their house.
Oh.
I mean,
I mean, pros and cons.
I don't know too. I've not seen the original Snow White in ages, but like from other kind of parody versions and worse versions on like video games and stuff. Like I think there was like a classic bad PS2 game from like Phoenix Games called Snow White and the Seven Clever Boys, and it's atrocious. Look it up.
I will.
I will now.
And it literally was just a case of she just came into their house and just started cleaning and singing.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is a.
That's very interesting.
Although to be fair, it wasn't her cleaning. It was actually the woodland animals.
There's also the bad form of love in there, which is the queen, where she wanted to murder the kid because she's more attractive than her. Which again brings up the question where the dad was during the whole thing, where the queen's actively trying to hunt you down. Yeah.
Oh yes, because actually in every other Snow White adaptation, their dad is still alive, isn't he?
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
He just doesn't care.
No, she's just been gone a couple of days. She'll be back. She's just on a bender.
Then there's the selfish love with Snow White and animals, because she's always nice to them and sings and somehow controls them with her voice.
She's a witch. Burn her. Maybe she was just like an apprentice to the evil witch who broke away, and she was like, die.
Okay.
So that carries on to love. Go on.
And then the last one is like the protecting sort of love. Then you have that from the huntsman who decided not to kill the kid and to kill an animal instead. And then the dwarves again who protect her, but not the father.
Is there any story or moral you get from this to do with love? Any love moral story from Snow White?
If your mum's prettier than you, run.
Yes.
Well.
Yes.
Wasn't it the other way around? If your daughter's prettier than you.
Yes. If you're prettier than your mum, run away.
Yeah, she's gonna try and kill
If
you.
you're pretty, run away.
Yeah.
Avoid everything.
Basically-
Then what if you're self-conscious and don't know if you're pretty?
No, basically,
Everyone check your mirror.
basically, just be ugly and then you win.
Yes.
That's our message on Valentine's Day. And Josh, you had another film.
Yes. Then I went into a more recent film of Disney, which is Moana, which is actually better. First of all, there's a friendship, and you have that through Moana and Maui, who slowly develops through the cockiness and that, because that. And you have the chicken, who Moana loves, even though he's very dumb. I mean, he jumps
He's
off.
a very idiotic chicken. I've not seen the film, but he appears to be very.
He tries to jump off into the sea quite a few times.
He hasn't got a lot of brain cells going up in that head of his.
No, I mean he's a chicken.
That's also. I think that's a fair point. We can't judge the chicken too harshly for being a chicken.
No, and then there's parental love, but I saw this in two different ways, because you got the father who's going, don't leave, people are dying, going out there, and then you got the one from like the mother side and the grandmother who's like, you can go, and like the mum, when Moana's like leaving, the mum actually helps her pack her stuff to go on the quest that can kill her, but you know, believing in your kid and all that.
Yeah, it feels, again, I've not seen the film, but from what I've heard of it, it seems like a very positive story of, like, again, family love and the idea of, like, doing what's right for your family, and those kind of themes I imagine would come up.
Yeah, by the way, spoilers if you don't want to know for the next things.
Yeah, no, I'm out.
Okay.
Yeah, spoiler alerts for people who haven't seen any of these films, I imagine.
Yes.
I mean, I have seen them, so we can all laugh at Izzy here, basically.
He's currently covered.
Tap me when the spoilers are done.
No. Then there's a thing about loving yourself, and with Moana it's like the soul development to believe in that she's capable of doing it, and that's also with the big baddie, because that's actually a princess, like a goddess that Maui stole the heart of.
Yeah.
And then you've got the other side where like Maui's really confident and stuff like that, but he's hiding the fact that basically as a kid he was thrown away into the sea. Which I don't think is very nice.
See, I think that it does subvert a lot of expectations from what it seems like. Because I know that I think we talk about this a little later on down the line, but Frozen tried to do that, but I don't think, like, in my humble opinion, there's a lot of Frozen fans out there. I think that Moana did it better in terms of like subverting those expectations.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, with Maui, again, spoiler alert for someone who's not covering their ears right now, they're gonna hear stuff. He's got a tattoo of the fact he was thrown in the sea on his back. Why would you have that tattooed on you?
I suppose like a life story kind of thing, I imagine.
My mum abandoned me.
Spoilers.
Yay. And then the end of it again was a self-love with her putting her heart back to the monster, which was a goddess, and it was more her not fighting the monster.
Basically speed up the thing, Josh, otherwise Izzy's going to get more annoyed.
She basically went to the monster and went, well, I know you're not actually evil, here's your heart back. And so that's my stories, and now back to Izzy, who's currently covering her ears.
Okay, welcome back. Welcome back.
Okay, thank you. I did say tap me. Okay, so thank you for that disturbing story of Moana I heard nothing of, and Snow White, who was a 14-year-old with just lust in her eyes.
Well, not in her eyes. The prince had lust for her when she was presumed dead.
If you saw the beginning scene where she was singing to no, you're right, it was him.
Okay, Izzy, get to your stories. They're probably better.
They are. So at first I'm talking about The Little Mermaid. Just want to say, I've gathered that I've done research in my head in 5 minutes that from this film, Ariel is
Ariel.
Is an
Not a lot of research.
Is an infatuated teenager who's infatuated with Eric, a stranger to her, which is very like young teenagers these days who, from my own observations, get into relationships based on casual impressions of one another and have distant connections.
Bow, chicka, bow, wow.
That almost sounded intellectual. Well done.
Thank you. I was trying not to stumble.
We
I
can
didn't
tell.
succeed. So.
And an extra legs, because you can stumble with legs.
Shush. Okay, so I think that Ariel is in love with the idea of love, but at 16 years old doesn't really comprehend what this is. And someone said to me about the grass being always green. I think it was Josh. You said the grass is always green on the other side.
Minchin song, amazing. The Fence. We can't play it because of certain words, but go and listen to it. It's an amazing song.
Yes, we're definitely never playing that song. So I pulled up a quote from Sebastian which really speaks about the entire show, the entire film, saying that the seaweed is always greener in somebody else's lake, which sums up the entire film basically, as she's just a teenager who's infatuated and throws away her entire life for this infatuation.
So movie 2 is just her becoming a bird.
No!
And then just a space astronaut.
She never becomes a bird.
Oh.
You've seen the wrong film. So the themes in this are friendship, the idea of sacrificial love versus extreme infatuation, and family and fake friendship. With the friendship, it shows Scuttle, Sebastian, Flounder going to great lengths to help Ariel in all of her quests, whereas you have Ursula being a fake friend to Ariel, trying to manipulate her to get what she wants, which is, of course, the kingdom. And then you have is it sacrificial love that Ariel has, or extreme infatuation? Does she really fall in love at first sight and sacrifice everything she has to be with Eric? Or is she so infatuated with this stranger that she would risk her life and possibly those around her to making a deal with someone she doesn't know who is a sea witch? And is that selfish of her? Or is she doing what she thinks is right? And then it goes to her family being protective of her, not wanting to let her go, and Trident signing the contract to make sure she is safe, and eventually letting her go to make her happy. The moral of this tale is to keep a better rein on your kid. Don't really let it go steal a load of stuff from a boat and be infatuated with a guy and go to a sea witch and ruin your entire family life.
And that fish can sing quite well.
Also, like
Yes.
the fact when you're describing the kids, you go, it.
Mm.
Yeah. She has a tail.
Yeah. Anyway, go on to your next modern film.
So I was taking a look at Frozen 2 recently, which, as we all know, and Jesus agrees, Frozen is an amazing film.
I humbly disagree, but I'll let you continue.
Thank you. He agrees. So Frozen 2 had all these trailers showing a lot of character development. You see Elsa feeling more confident, not ashamed of herself. She feels self-love and acceptance of who she is because of the events of the first film. In the first film, Elsa, because of the way she's brought up with her parents, because she has powers that cannot be controlled, or so they think, she feels ashamed and afraid. They teach her to hide her powers after she accidentally hurts her sister. And this evolves to her locking herself away, and literally and figuratively. So everyone is shut away from her. Her sister obviously there's themes of depression in this film, as Elsa and her sister
Nice kid film.
definitely have issues with how they are as adults now. Anna can't feel love she feels unloved to the point that she would go into any willing relationship. So Anna has an infatuation which leads to a rushed engagement due to lack of affection from her sister, who feels too afraid to create a bond with her. But then she later creates a bond with Kristoff, which is based on friendship, which everyone knows friendship is a better base to a relationship rather than chocolate fondue.
I disagree.
I mean, food is better than friendship.
You would, wouldn't you?
Jesus, your opinion? Food or friendship?
Ooh, I mean, it depends
Both.
on A, the food, and
Chocolate
B,
fondue, and the guy's ginger.
Okay, scratch that.
Now you've got me in a tough corner. I want to have both.
So you want chocolate fondue, Ed Sheeran, and friendship?
Yes, because I feel like that's what we all need. About a bit of Ed Sheeran, a bit of chocolate fondue. Maybe combine two of them somehow. I'll leave it to your imaginations. And happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the chocolate fondue in Frozen is an analogy for alcohol, but for some reason they can smell it. I'm not really sure if it's supposed to be something else or alcohol. I think the moral of the tale is for everyone to feel acceptance of themselves, not feel ashamed, and you should love yourself before just letting other people judge you, get into your head, and throwing yourself at any available person, because that ginger person does turn out to have no soul and wanting to take over your entire kingdom.
As like most of them.
Yeah. Like Ed Sheeran.
Shaq's view does not...
No, it's not my view for starters. It was a joke.
Ed
Calm
Sheeran,
down.
it is totally his view. Hit him up on Twitter.
Okay, so moving on from that, my two films. The first one is Mulan. So let's get down to business to discuss Mulan.
We're still ashamed of him.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, it was just a joke. Fine.
Jesus, your opinion?
I think that was a pretty good rendition.
Okay. Thank you.
I wouldn't send you on to the next round, but give it like some months of practice. I think you've definitely got a lot of potential.
It's a
Okay.
no from me.
It's a no from me, Simon.
Okay, so when it comes to Mulan, it's a film about a girl who just loves her family, most specifically her dad, and because her dad has to go join the army for a bit. This is a very bad summary of the film, but she's basically doing it out of love, and also the fact that she lacks confidence and she goes off to pretend to be someone else, and towards the end of the film she just sort of becomes herself, scratches all the boy part away, and is a strong independent woman who loves herself. So self-love, all that fun stuff. And I guess there's this sort of mutual friendship sort of love thing that grows with Mushu the dragon, who's always a wonderful thing to have there. Wouldn't you guys agree?
No, he got her in so much trouble.
But he's that
And
sort of
remember
friend.
the name he gave her? Ping. And what is her name to begin with? Not Mulan, but the name of her family.
Ah.
It's it's not a great name for your friend to give you if you're a guy. Go on.
Okay, there's not much else I can say about Mulan. So, the next film, which technically isn't Disney, well, it is now after the Fox merger, Deadpool.
Yes,
The Merc with the Mouth.
It is the most beautiful Disney princess film I've ever seen in my entire life.
Ryan Reynolds, you are Disney princess in all of our hearts. And the film, it works. I can get away with it because it's set around the Valentine's love film. I loved the adverts for it, just in general, where it was like, it's a love film, and don't take your kids to it, but it's a love film anyway. And it's, again, sort of like Mulan, it's a lot about his sort of self-love. There's a lot of lusty love with his relationship with Vanessa.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. And in general, it's all about him accepting his looks after he loses them, basically, and becomes a mouldy avocado. I think that's what they say in the film, or something a lot worse.
A fourth-degree burn victim.
Yes, exactly. And while
Everything and more.
yeah. And while it does do a sort of traditional love plot, I like a lot more of its focus on Wade himself and it trying to grow him as a character. Which I'd say is pretty nice.
Yeah.
So, to continue on with our self-love bit, we're going to introduce our first bit of
Ariana
music.
Grande, an up-and-coming new singer.
Yes. Definitely.
Hot off the charts.
Completely.
We'll be back in a bit.
Thank you. And next, with Ariana Grande, an up-and-coming new singer we've recently found in our talent hosting competition.
As we do.
Picked at the post by Justin Timberlake, a new country singer.
As we do.
Yeah.
Okay, so our next bit is going to be a bit of
the song.
shipping. Ha 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 ha.
Thank you. And next,
Yeah. So yeah, next bit will be about a little thing where we're just going to discuss ships with our good boy Reece here. And Josh, take it away.
Okay, so the game is basically, I'm going to say a name. You've got to work out which characters it is. For me, I'm talking at MCU.
Okay.
With them two, no idea. Have
Anything
fun.
could happen. All right.
Okay. The first one's called Stucky.
I know.
Stephen Bucky.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
well done. Second one's called Gamma Frost.
Gamma Frost.
Yes.
Gamma. So Gamma, I'm guessing Hulk.
Yep.
And Frost would maybe, I guess, Black Widow, because they had a thing, kind of, but not quite.
It was
Why would
Loki.
she be?
I don't know, because she's cold as ice.
Loki, because the
No, it's always a play on their name.
Oh,
He's
okay.
a frost giant.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, interesting.
Did you not?
I forgot about his backstory.
I mean,
Irrelevant.
for one is forgettable. So
Jeez. Okay, then it's Pepperoni.
Pepperoni.
Oh, I know this, I know this.
Pepper Potts and Iron Man?
Yep.
I know it.
I liked it just because of the name.
Pepperoni.
Some sweet
Do you think they eat
pepperoni.
pepperoni pizza a lot?
I mean, it'd be cute if they did. Let's
Yes.
be fair. Like, that's what I was
Yeah, I know
originally
you're
did.
shaking your head, but I think that's that is a canon thing now.
You can't. You can make stuff into Reese's story, canon. You can't put stuff
Hey,
into MCU.
Marvel, it's canon.
I got some good ideas. For you.
Yeah.
hey, Mr. Feige, we love you, and put our stuff in.
Okay, last one is Starbucks.
So Stark and Bucky.
Yes.
That is brilliant.
For anyone who doesn't know, that's Izzy's laugh.
Yeah.
She sounds like a whimpering dog.
No, we just snuck a dog in here, and CSR aren't supposed to know.
Shh. We can't tell them.
Take it back to the pound.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay,
Nice.
Izzy, your people.
Okay, so only you two will know this because I've complained about it. I think I might have mentioned it in front of you. This one has bugged me for a millennia. It hasn't been around for a millennia, but it has
Neither have
bugged
you.
me for a
it's on
millennia.
In your heart for the
Yes.
equivalent of a millennia.
No, not an equivalent. I am that old.
Oh, right.
5,555.
Considering how childish she is.
Exactly. It's the only way I stay happy. It's Drapple. Can you please tell me
Drapple.
what this ship is and why it exists?
Can you give me a hint as
It's
to
a
what
fruit.
program it's
What
from?
fandom?
No.
What fandom is it from?
Harry Potter. And it's a fruit.
Oh, Draco and what's the apple bit?
It's an apple.
You have to tell me. I don't know.
It's an apple.
It's literally an apple.
It's an apple.
His face
Hold on.
was the most. Yes, thank you so much.
Can we
I'm googling Drapple right now, and I will swivel this to you.
clarify for me and our lovely audience, our lovelies out there? a Draco Malfoy and a literal apple.
Yeah.
Okay, I've pulled it up on Google. Basically, Drapple, in Google's words, and Google's Bible, is a romantic relationship pairing that fans ship or pull for, and it involves Draco Malfoy and an apple, a green one, like the one that started this madness in a scene in Prisoner of Azkaban. Why does it start in Azkaban? Oh my god, because he's holding a green apple in Azkaban. Okay.
Okay.
So
Before he gets hit by that chicken thing, remember?
Yeah, the evil chicken. Evil chickens.
he means the
Buckwheat.
hippogriff.
Okay. Yeah.
So Draco's holding an apple in one film, and he puts an apple in a wardrobe in another film, and because of
And
that,
that's enough to so any Harry Potter fans out there,
The Harry Potter Society.
they're called Potterheads.
if you could email me at harrypotterfans@whyisthishaship.com, I would love to know what is going on. Why is this a thing?
I am really
It's almost
still
like that.
confused.
Someone
What is it? There is an article
Someone
all
likes
about
everything,
this
so
shit.
someone must like fruit.
I mean, my guy likes pants, so
I mean, there's someone who married a car and a bridge and a house, so
and a roller coaster.
I did not know about that. But I'm assuming there is someone out there who's tried to marry an apple.
This article is trying to argue that this is canon as well.
Right, ignore this.
Okay.
Because this will just be a hole.
Okay, I'm going to give you another one, and you can tell me what you think this one is. And don't you dare give another clue. That was so close.
I mean, he didn't get them anyway.
He literally said Draco and an apple. I don't know what an apple is. It's an apple.
He said Draco and a fruit, and you're like, what is this apple?
That's fair.
Cat pee.
Oh.
Katniss and Peter.
Yes. I can't say the other one, but the other one is Peter and Katniss, and no one is allowed to say that on air.
Sadly.
Do
The
you...
male genitalia. There we go. Now let's go.
Okay, so
That hurt.
Okay.
Swan Queen.
Oh, that's a ship name. Swan Queen.
She was just saying a random word.
Have you seen Once Upon a Time? If not, you won't get it.
I've been meaning to watch it. I've got so much on my plate.
Shame on you. Carry on. Shame on you. Shame.
Just so you know, they are Disney people.
Yeah. So Ice Queen, did you say or something?
No, Swan Queen. So, for those of you who don't know, Emma Swan is one of the leading characters in a show called Once Upon a Time. The evil queen is the antagonist.
Yes.
Emma is the protagonist. People ship them because they share a son.
So who do you think Swan Queen is?
It would be. See, I vaguely remember that in the back of my head, but I just haven't seen it in ever. So alas, my knowledge isn't that deep.
I finished it just to annoy her.
Yeah,
So I know the
he watched the
ending.
last episode to annoy me, and he's done that with so many shows.
I finished her programs just so I can always go at her. I can tell you the ending of them.
He's done that.
Power move.
Yeah.
He's done it to a show he hates.
Oh yeah, I have. I've done it to loads of shows just so I can go with her.
I love that as a move of just if you're the friends or relationship, just watch a program ahead of time and it'd be like you have that.
We're great. We're giving control advice now on radio.
Just mess with their TV.
I mean, it's Valentine's Day, so everyone needs to know about control.
Yes.
Okay, so you got any more left?
Exactly what you need to break someone's heart. Hermione. This is
Hermione and what's her name? Ginny.
She said it wrong.
Dramini.
Oh, Dramine.
Well, you said it wrong.
Germine.
Yeah. No, okay. No. Yeah. You get that, Reece. You get that.
Yes.
So
Okay.
everyone
You
be
said it
Draco
wrong.
That's not a
Hermione,
ship,
yes.
but we'll take it.
Well, it's
Maybe
probably a
Draco
ship.
Hermione.
It probably is.
No,
It's-
Reece started this ship down. This
Rule
is a ship
34.
around. No, hey, get rid of
Stay
that rule.
away from our ships.
Okay.
It was Draco and Hermione,
that's
which is my favourite Harry Potter ship.
Ew. Okay. Moving on.
Why? Ooh, can I
He's
just
evil.
ask?
No.
No. He was an abused child.
Still,
Okay,
ew.
let's move away from the abused child.
We'll get to that later. Anyway,
Why'd you point at Josh?
his story. Anyway, my ones, because I totally have my research up now.
Not stalling for time.
No.
Yes. No. I mean, to be fair, we're
You
always
stopped me
doing-
so you could still
yeah.
search them.
Yeah, exactly. So my one, going off of MCU love, is Stony.
Stony. I was thinking about this before because you brought it a little bit. I can't actually think. I don't know.
Really?
My brain is dead.
It's kind of linked to the actor.
Yes.
That's a clue.
Oh, it is.
That's a good clue, but alas,
I mean-
I don't know.
Okay, this is Steve Rogers ex Tony Stark.
Ah,
Exactly.
Which one was it
that's what
linked
I was
to?
thinking of. I was thinking Tony. That's what I was thinking of. I didn't think of it now though.
Exactly. So it's interesting because after straight out of World War II, straight out of the ice, he's loving that Stark.
Yep.
The spark from the Stark.
I mean, he's an attractive man. Let's be fair. Like, he's real.
Exactly. There's an image of Steve Rogers literally licking the Iron Man arc reactor bit with it out. So if you remember Iron Man.
What do you
2
search?
No,
What are you searching?
I showed you that. It's a drawing some fan made of that, and it's based off of the scene where I think it's Iron Man 2, where Pepper's ripping the thing out of it.
This would be more believable right now if you're not wearing a Spider-Man thermal.
It's a thermal. I'm cold. Okay, calm down.
He makes his own.
I wish I could. That'd be great. And to be fair,
That was definitely linked to his clothing and not the fan art.
no, clothing. I'd rather be able to make my own clothing. It'd be free and great. And the next one, this doesn't help me at all. It's called Pinecest.
God.
I'm just gonna swivel out of this.
It's from a Disney show, so it's like a
Disney
Disney
show?
cartoon.
A cartoon.
Yeah.
What's the name of the cartoon?
It's called Gravity Falls.
I've heard of it, but not seen it, so
Okay, so I've got to explain this one, and it's very bad, and I hate the internet sometimes because I grew up watching this. It's a mystery show with these two siblings called Mabel Pines and Dipper Pines, and people ship them.
Oh no!
that's a yikes from me.
That works
Yeah.
so many levels to that name though.
Yeah.
Right.
And it doesn't help that the show's a lot centered about the family, so Pinecest could be open to a lot of them.
Okay, right.
Yeah,
so
not
let's
good.
move
Not
swiftly
good.
on
Not
from
good.
that before.
Hey, this was
No,
your shipping game.
No,
Before we move
No,
on,
no.
I've got one question for Reece.
Go for it.
What's your favourite ship in the entire universe?
Oh god, that's a question
I
because
like the
there are
Titanic.
so much.
I like the Millennium Falcon.
I see what you did there. I
I
think
hate you both.
I think for me, it's when I say like favorite ship, it's not like because I think it's a good relationship, but more just for the what it does for the story. There's a video game called Borderlands 2,
Yes.
and I'm
Yes.
talking about Handsome Jack and Mad Moxie. And
Yes.
I'm glad someone else knows. And like it was an awful relationship. It was absolutely toxic. But like what it does for the narrative and the way it shifts through, I think does like wonders. I think like their like interactions when they were in love is actually pretty sweet personally. But I would say that Mad Moxie and Handsome Jack as my top pairing for stuff.
Before we move on from this segment, does anyone want to say what their favourite ships are?
no.
You go, Izzy.
You're so
because-
ashamed, aren't
As
you?
Izzy can obviously have one here. She
Swan
shall
Queen.
say.
Swan Queen.
I
It's
don't
always
have
going to be
one.
Swan Queen. I want Emma and I want Regina to be together. And if Regina's not going to be with me, then she'll be with Emma.
Right. So let's move on from like
This
crazy
weirdness.
to another crazy. We're going to talk about Crazy X. Have either of you two seen it?
Never
'Cause-
No.
Yeah,
Well,
but-
actually, I've seen bits and bobs of it because these two watch it in front of me and they play the songs
Yes.
non-stop. So
I love the songs.
she plays the songs non-stop.
Yeah.
Do
You,
not listen to
you
me.
sing along to the songs.
There's some songs that are
He
cool on
spent
that.
an entire 40-minute coach ride singing Make Yourself Sexy Just For Yourself.
Yeah, of course
Yes.
you would. Okay,
That's a
explain
message.
this
Okay.
show to us.
So currently there are 3 seasons of it. The first one is basically the main character runs into her
Ex-boyfriend.
yeah, from summer camp when she was 16. She's about 30 now, and she sees a butter commercial. So
This is a fictional show.
Just
not
putting
a
it out here, it's
documentary.
totally fictional. It's
No, it's real.
So after she sees that butter commercial, she decides to pack up her job, move cross country, to try and form up a relationship with this guy.
Okay.
In her defence, those butter commercials are weirdly very specific. I think the first one was
It's like it's written for plot.
shush. It was. I think the first one was saying something like, "What are you doing?" No, it said, "Are you really happy?" And she had a whole mental breakdown, and she quit her job because they gave her a promotion.
So like an existential crisis kind
Yep.
of thing. Okay.
So basically, the whole first season is about her obsession trying to get with this guy. There's a lot of messed up stuff she does to get with this guy. I mean, what's your favourite thing she did?
I think one of my favourite things is when she breaks into his house
Oh.
to. No, she sent him a text.
Oh, that's
she
even
sent
worse.
him. She,
How dare you send me a text?
how dare you? I think it was she'd said something she really didn't want to say to him. No, she'd admitted to stalking him in this text and accidentally sent it. And there's a whole song called Text Emergency about her breaking into a house, trying to get his phone to delete the text from the original one. And she told the law firm that she worked at the situation, and her client was like, go, you gotta go, I understand this feeling. And they were all singing to hype her up for it. And what she did was he went into his house, saw her in there, and was like, what are you doing in my house? She went, someone just broke into my house. I felt unsafe. He's like, okay, we'll go to your house then. She went, oh. And obviously her house hadn't been broken into, so she texts her friend, say, hey, can you please break my window with a rock? So she goes in to her house, picks up a rock, smashes the window, but then he later when he goes to see the glass, he realises the rock that's inside that smashed the window is actually from inside her house, and he realised she's been lying and things like that.
Yeah.
And then it goes on to the second season where it's like they're basically pinnacles, and then he works out what's happening. So then it becomes this dark side obsession where she's just trying to break him down.
Revenge.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a very she took an inspiration from Lethal. What was it?
Oh, I can't remember. It's one where the woman's sitting there. She's the murder thing.
Lethal Woman?
Yeah.
Or something.
She writes murders and then she commits the murders, and she's a published author. And it's one where she's in that interview scene where she has no pants on, and she very clearly.
I feel like I know
Lethal
somewhere
Weapon?
in the back.
Yeah.
I
don't remember what it's called, but
yeah.
Something like that. But she tries to channel that. She sits in a chair for like 5 hours.
And then on the first season, it's actually pretty nice. It's self-acceptance.
Yes.
It's gone into a nice thing where she's actually helping people, and she now owns a pretzel shop.
Oh.
Yeah. So from the first season, it's about her obsession, her lust, her infatuation that goes to a very dangerous level, and then afterwards the second season, how she becomes betrayed with her feelings. She tries to act out anger, and her obsession becomes more depression, and then she eventually spirals to a point where she realises she needs to get her life back on track.
And the third season, as I'm going to summarise it, is about pretzel making. So while we're on this, let's give you a Crazy X song called Without Love You Can Save the World.
It fits with Valentine's Day perfectly.
It does.
Okay, we are back, and without love, clearly. That's a shame.
What a move.
Yes. And like every week, we're back to Harry Potter.
Not fun. And this time, instead of doing some weird summary, we're just going to keep it to the rapids questions for me.
Yes.
So, let's go.
First one. Why did...
Wait, do you want to say which film we're on? For those
Goblet
who
of
don't
Fire.
know. Yes.
The one
Okay.
that I know.
Now, let's go. Why did Mad Eye Mooney turn Malfoy into a ferret?
Because Malfoy was just being an annoying nonce to Harry. So it's just like, get him into a rat thing and throw him around the place.
Why just a ferret?
A ferret.
Why not a piglet?
Okay, why? I don't know. Maybe
Actually, no, to be fair, I don't
doesn't
think
like
he would have
him.
been able to fit a piglet down Goyle's pants.
Oh, yeah, that was weird.
makes it pre-planned
Yeah.
that you try to get... Okay, let's avoid that topic.
That's the weird part. It's like,
Right.
he's in my pants
Your
now.
question.
Okay. What is Harry's adoptive family name?
The
We ask this
Dursleys.
every week.
The Dursleys.
Okay.
Cool.
Reece.
Did you miss the fat lady?
Yes, I did. She was wonderful.
Okay. Do you think Sirius Blackface was hot in the fire?
I mean, it was something. It was smoking, definitely.
I mean, for him. Not
No, not
as the fire.
attractiveness.
I mean, you didn't verify that, but
So we
clarify
found
it.
love between Shaq and a fictional character.
Sirius
Exactly.
Black is pretty
That's my
attractive, let's be
shipping.
real.
That's my shipping there. But I mean, for him, probably not, because he would be going. "Ah!"
Maybe he was just letting her do it so he can talk to Harry.
I guess so, but not painfully. Or
I mean, can you imagine
Got some.
every other word? Harry! Oh, Harry!
Okay.
Do you think that you could have chucked your name into the cup with a
I would
paper
love to
airplane?
put the name Shak into that cup, and I could just join the trials. That would be great. I would just throw in like a little paper airplane. Whew.
I'm really sorry,
Yes.
but I really think you'd have died first.
Oh, thanks. No, I'm going to be in that maze. I want to get covered up by it.
Is it weird Ron kisses his brother's future wife?
That would be weird, but I don't know that yet, so thanks for the spoilers, guys.
That's what they gave me, alas.
Yeah, but I
Alas.
mean, I was saying, guys, Reece, you're innocent.
Thank you, babe.
When people needed an item and they were trying to get it from Dragon, why don't they just say Accio item?
Because none of them are in Ravenclaw like myself. So,
It's true, the only other one was Hufflepuff.
I mean, to be fair, Harry learned towards the end of the film, he grabbed the thing and went Accio, and he saved his poor dead friend from, what's her name, Twilight.
can you imagine if he said Accio Firebolt in the graveyard? Do you think if this is a weird question, Josh? Do you think if Voldemort cut off Wormtail's nose, he'd get a nose back?
I mean, he could just take his nose. It's just like another nose on top. He could like tape it down, or
Super
Accio the
glue.
nose to himself.
Accio nose.
Accio nose.
Actual nose.
Do you think that the moment the maze was the moment, the maze shut was the moment the series transgressed from a child fantasy series to a dark
And
fantasy?
you can tell that's when it changed from me to Izzy.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. The mature questions and the childish questions are mixed in between. But I noticed this. Yeah, I'll agree with that because I pointed out specifically in the scene when the maze shuts. I love the sound bit on that because it literally cuts off all the cheering crowds and stuff, and it just goes silent. And I thought that was wonderful.
They have like a close up on Harry's eyes.
Yes.
Oh,
And
no, the next question.
before we get to the next question, I was noticing the sort of shift after the second film. Really, it just sort of the main theme going more and more sinister, and I'm guessing through the later films with Harry's hair going weirder, he's obviously going to be darker.
Okay.
That haircut says everything.
Back to the
Okay,
next
weird question. Weird question.
Yes. Do you think that if Cedric had survived, he would not have become a vampire? That's a crossover to Twilight.
Yeah, I know. I
a
got
judgment.
That. Yeah,
So much judgment.
yes, we don't like Twilight here. Only you do, and I think we're doing Twilight later.
No,
which is
it's
gonna
not
be sad.
canon. No.
I was gonna say, is this before
This is canon.
or after
No, no, no.
Twilight?
Oh, this
No,
is the shipping.
No, this happened before Twilight.
Are they in the same universe?
I'm going to say yes.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway.
Okay, so the question to answer that, career-wise, yes, I think he would have been.
No, I'm talking about plot-wise.
Plot-wise,
If they're in the same universe.
well, he would be dead. He died there, and that's why he's in Twilight. It's
Exactly.
undead.
I
so-
think,
It's
because my theory
Just-
is...
just no
Is-
theories,
last
no
question.
theories. Next question.
Do you think the Triwizard Tournament is child-friendly?
No, Hogwarts isn't child-friendly. Like I'll persistently say each film, Hogwarts isn't child-friendly, so this is clearly not child-friendly. And they brought in other schools as well, and they're not child-friendly either. In fact, this entire organisation should just be shut down. Why do you want magics in your life?
Reece, I think you got
Makes
part
us
B of that
happy.
question.
Honestly, I thought that was a real good way of just ending, for sure. If not, why do you think you need a permission slip for Hogsmeade, but not the tournament?
I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, it's basically suicide what you're doing. Here's my name. Kill me.
So it's you need a permission slip for a lollipop, but not death.
Okay.
No.
So moving swiftly on and technically backwards.
Yes, exactly.
Onto 5-Step Fairy Tales.
Time
Ooh
travel.
la 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 la.
This one is Snow White. So
Ooh, back to the beginning.
yes, back to my first story. This is the original Snow White. So how it goes, I'm not sure if you know it, but I now summarize and ask questions of what you think will happen. Okay. So the first queen, this is one who actually gave birth to Snow White, pricked her finger and thought, hey, I want a kid that's white, has red lips and black hair. Then she died having her kid.
Oh,
The-
She got her wish though.
Yep.
she died
Then
for it.
the king got a wife, and she was vain. She had a mirror, and you know the general story.
Yeah.
The mirror. And then she went at age 7, and it's actually in the book that Snow White's 7.
The number 7 is...
Yes, it is 7. She's more attractive than the queen. The mirror says.
The mirror is very, very naughty. Noncy
Yeah.
mirror.
Bad word.
Noncy mirror.
Yes.
It's not a
Anyway,
bad word.
because of this mirror, the queen gets a huntsman to try and kill the 7-year-old. The huntsman kills an animal instead, and in the original, this doesn't happen in the remake. He brings back organs, and the queen eats those organs.
Yes, I heard about this, yeah.
Thinking Snow White.
That is beautiful.
So Snow White escapes.
Cool.
She does a B&A, and then does a Goldilocks. So eats all the food, sleeps in the beds, and then she wakes up to meet 7 dwarves that stand around her. She's scared for some reason, even though she's broken into someone's house.
I mean, if I'm a child and I'm surrounded by loads of strange small people, I'd be scared.
You've broken into a house with
That was a
small beds. What do you think it's like a giant living there?
Although to be fair,
a
she
giant
is
wasn't-
royalty. She grew up believing everything. She owns everything.
That's not established at all. You're just
No.
You're just being.
You're just
sex-
talking about yourself there.
Yeah, exactly. She's one of the dwarves.
Right. So after she meets them, she basically makes a deal to become a maid and look clean after them. And dwarves warn her, the queen's trying to kill you. Don't let in on him. So the queen then asks the mirror, who's the fairest in the land, and again the mirror says the child. So the queen lady does the old woman stuff,
Yeah.
and this is where it starts to split from it. She goes to Snow White and basically sells her lace, but it's a choker. It's a neck choker.
Okay.
Oh.
And ignoring the fact that someone's out to kill you, she basically comes down because it's fashion and goes, yeah, that's cool. So then the queen puts it around her, chokes out till she passes out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she just leaves her.
Yep. And then the dwarfs come home, and then they take it off, and she's fine. No issue. And again, what do you think happens next?
I mean, first of all, that's not how asphyxiation works. Secondly, I don't know where else you can go from there. So
So what happens with these dwarves who just come across this unconscious girl?
Oh no! Don't,
Exactly. That's
No,
the thought
bad
process.
thought. That's not.
Yeah.
don't. Okay, right, what I was gonna say. I was thinking that they were like either maybe help her up or kill her or something like
Okay, so one of those was right, Josh.
They help her, and again, Warner, don't lean on him.
Yeah.
Now, this woman, Snow White's had 2 attempts on her life now.
that. Yes.
The Queen does the mirror thing again, repeats, says that Snow White's still attractive. Goes back to being the old woman, and again goes back to the house.
This one is persistent.
Yes.
I admire her just drive.
And
Literally
then
drove there in a car.
It's
that's
strange
just
for the
whole
time.
new
Okay, let's ignore that.
aspect. She now comes with a poison comb.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how do poison hair combs work? So do you just like poison the hair, and then the next time you nibble or like lick your hair, it's like, I'm dead?
I don't know.
No, because of the hair comb, should have put poison on the very tips. That would have touched the scalp and gone in the
This is
skin.
slowly getting
Balls.
more and more scary.
But the thing is,
If this is on tomorrow, we did a thing with
Lizzie.
So
Yes.
Murder, She Told, her show tomorrow. I don't know what time. Lizzie, we love you.
And Izzy's very into the murders.
Yeah.
Very into it. It's very scary.
Also, we know the poison hair comb doesn't work
Yes.
because
It doesn't. Because when she comes back, dwarves just take it out again,
Yep.
back to life.
yeah. Also, very bad poison. It doesn't kill her. It leaves her unconscious.
I've got a theory about this.
Okay.
And then, again, they tell her, don't lean on him.
Mm.
Because you've had 2 attempts on life, plus the first one.
Stop
Yeah.
opening the door.
Yes.
I know a song about that.
And guess what happens?
I'm guessing she opens the door.
Well, yeah, Queen goes home, does the
goes
mirror
home,
thing
yeah.
again, and then decides to do the apple part.
Mm-hmm.
The
And,
classic
Yeah,
part.
goes to knock on the door. Snow White goes, I can't let you in. She goes, I've got an apple. She goes, all right then.
Hasn't Snow White ever heard of closing the gosh darn door?
No. Well, no, it's not closing the door. It's not to open it to someone's murdering you. And not what I like to imagine is the Queen's the same person each time. So
It's the same hair.
Yeah, the same old
Yeah.
lady.
Didn't you give me the poison gun?
No.
You think all of us old women look the same? How dare you?
So, bites it. But in this one, she doesn't swallow it. It's just in her throat.
Mm.
Again, passed out.
Wait, she swallows a whole apple.
Well, she takes a bite. I mean, she could swallow the
I was
apple,
gonna
but
say, like,
Maybe. They don't tell us in
I
the
don't
story.
know. That's just logistics. Then Queen lives, does the mirror again, and then she gets a response that you're the person right. The wolves find her and they put her in a glass coffin.
Mm.
Now they take care of her. They
After
stand
she's dead.
Yeah, stand around her.
Yeah.
And then the prince comes up and sees her unconscious body. Bear in mind, she's 7 years old.
Yeah.
He offers to buy it.
He's like, I want you.
Sure.
And
He's not
do you want
trying
to know? You know what? The best part of this? They don't sell him the body.
No, they just go, oh, you pay for it. Go, take it.
Cool.
That you get it for free. You offered to sell it to us. Well, you offered to buy it off us. You're getting it for free.
Yep.
I mean, it's just sort of sitting there, just like, just out in the way. If like, if they got to go out and do some mining, some like chopping some wood, like that's just going to be just space that you could use, really.
It's also a bit depressing to just have that in your room, or like just
Yeah.
anywhere near your house.
It's
I
not
mean,
a
it's-
good central piece.
Is it? It's almost like it's a coffin.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to have that in your room unless it's a morgue.
That's a weird room to have a bedroom in the morgue. Anyway,
Some people
It's
do.
cozy.
so when the servants take the body, because he doesn't take the body, he gets his servants to carry the body.
Yeah.
They nudge her a bit. It comes out of mouth, back to life.
Yeah. So yeah,
Just a
these.
tiny-
And
Yeah.
kidnapped.
Yeah,
just
this
comes out.
poison is just so terrible.
Yeah.
Like it's being ingested and it doesn't do anything.
So they get married because she's 7 years old, and you know
Because
that's fair.
That's the Grimm boys for
Oh,
you.
by the way, the whole time her dad's still alive.
Yeah.
There's nothing about these 4 attempts on his kid's life.
I mean, to be fair,
even
he
go
doesn't
looking
know.
for her.
No.
He doesn't know, so
Your kid's gone missing for a week.
yeah. I mean, he could be looking for it. We don't know.
I hope it's not a week, but I've got a feeling that it's the same week. So next day, it's just next day she keeps getting murder attempts on her. Every next day.
And another one.
and
And
another.
another one.
So eventually the queen finds out she's alive, and there's a wedding, and she goes to it. For some reason, don't
Yeah.
know why you go to someone that you tried to murder 4 times wedding. What do you think happens?
Does she attack? Oh no. Does I'm guessing the prince be like, hey, you were that old woman who tried to kill my wife? Stab.
I mean, he kills her, but what he does, he gets iron shoes, heats them up, and makes her dance to death.
Ooh,
I mean, that's a pretty damn good way to go.
that's some hot dancing moves right there.
Exactly.
She burned up the dance floor.
That was some real
Disco
happy feet.
Inferno.
God. So, what was your thoughts on that story?
There are so many thoughts that I like. First of all, okay. So we're starting off with the idea of it's a very specific set of requirements that you want for your daughter in the first. She has to have like palest white skin, the reddest lips, and whatever hair. But you know, I think overall it's really weird and a little bit creepy. But then there's Grimm's fairy tales, so I suppose that's what you expect.
Also, my theory is that she got taught by a wizard who knew she was evil. So that's why none of her poison was lethal. He gave her poison that made people unconscious, and she just thought it killed people.
Yeah. So what was her assumption then? Oh, my magic didn't work. Okay, she must be immune to poison.
Yes.
So she kept poisoning her.
She tried to poison again.
Well, she could have gone to a magic school and she was just like an F grade student.
I mean, she's just worried about who's most attractive.
Yeah. Very
A
thing.
point I wanted to make, when they said she's still attractive, what if she was dead and they kept saying that? And they just meant until her body rots, she's going to be more attractive than you.
No. I don't know about that purely because they're saying she's more attractive than a fully grown woman at 7. And personally, any woman is attractive compared to a kid. Regardless of attractive level, if you compare to a kid.
Yeah, the people are just
Morals.
strange. And speaking of strange, it's just Valentine's Day. Everyone's strange. Everyone's doing strange things on Valentine's Day. So we wish you all a happy good night and a good luck if your Valentine's stuff.
Yeah.
Yay. Fine, I'm bad.
You
at it.
Good
can't
luck.
tell he's
Yes.
single.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
cannot tell.
I hate all
Good
of you
luck.
guys. And good night.
Good night.